journey begins. Watkins stepped out. He's got to come all the way now. 15, out to the 22, and we will see Tajh Boyd. And Herbie told you in the first 8 games he was magnificent. 24 touchdowns and 3 interceptions. Then Herbie, last 4 games, 4 TDs and 7 picks.
Yeah, I think this entire offense has been struggling in recent weeks, and I think it's affected Tajh Boyd's confidence. I think tonight they're going to try to get him ability to reestablish his confidence. Some quick throws, try to get this offense back in sync when it was executing in a way that very few offenses in the country were earlier in the year.
Tajh is a redshirt sophomore quarterback out of Hampton, Virginia. And they'll give it to Ellington. Ellington. He tries to get that left edge. And very close to a first down. Hosley is there defensively. And Herbie, let's take a look at tonight's impact players. Brought to you by Dr. Pepper.
Well, when these guys are clicking, they're as good as anybody. It starts with Tajh Boyd and his decision-making tonight. Andre Ellington, you could see how quickly he can accelerate upfield. Dwayne Allen, maybe one of the more electrifying tight ends in the country. Keep an eye on big number 83. And Sammy Watkins. The two are kind of tied together. When the tight end plays well, it opens it up for Watkins.
So they hand it back off to Ellington. And he pounds for the first down before linebacker Jack Tyler brings him down. Here are your offensive linemen, and that fella in the middle, Dalton Freeman, made the All-ACC first team as the center.
Keep an eye on the left tackle, Philip Price, who's coming back from a sprained knee. They tried to play him early last week. He wasn't very effective. They took him out. They're hoping he's able to go tonight.
Power game working right away. Now Boyd's first pass, and they'll work it short underneath, and that's Brandon Ford. So Brandon Ford, one of the tight ends, a junior from Wando, South Carolina.
And right away you're seeing tempo, something that's very important for Clemson. You see Tajh Boyd checking himself out of the game as part of the Wildcat package here, and Clemson getting their plays together. But Chad Morris, the offensive coordinator, loves the tempo to try to get the defense on their heels.
Ellington will take the snap on the Clemson Wildcat, and he'll keep it himself, and he is stuffed. The Hokies were not fooled on that, and that is Hosley, who is an outstanding defensive back coming up to make the stop. Number 20, Herbie, if you go back in the stats with him, he once picked Russell Wilson, who was then playing quarterback for North Carolina State, 3 times in a single game.
You know, he had 9 interceptions last year. He's a first-team All-American. This year he's come up with 3. One of the top cover corners in the ACC, maybe even in the entire country.
Now Tajh Boyd is left with a 3rd and 4 after that Wildcat play. Didn't gain much. That's Allen, the tight end, going through the formation. Tajh looks for that screen over there, going to take off himself, and did not get it. Exum, the safety, comes up, and they are a yard short.
But Tajh Boyd, one thing that he's really trying to improve on is once his primary receiver is not there, he quickly comes off of it and tries to create. That time, as you said, Brent, he was trying to set up the quick throw, the screen off to the left, but the Hokies defense completely dialed in, reading their tendencies here early, and they were there to take it away and forcing Tajh Boyd to have to try to run for it.
There's Dawson Zimmerman, and guess who awaits it? Hosley. J-Ron Hosley, the junior from Delray Beach, Florida. Gonna let this one roll, and it takes a Hokie bounce before it is downed at the 23-yard line. On the Hokies' 25-yard line. And keeps it himself. And Andre Branch, who had a monster, is there. Ball comes loose. Clemson claiming they've got it on the first offensive play of the game. And big Andre Branch gets off the bottom with the football. Let's take another look at this one now.
The exchange on a zone read, there was a miscommunication. That ball looks like that's definitely out before he went down.
That is a fumble.
Without a doubt.
Anthony, the freshman linebacker, punched it out. And what a future he has. Got up with his shoulder and knocked it free.
Without a doubt. That football came out. And 2 of the better players on the Clemson defense, Andre Branch and, as you said, Anthony, jarred that ball loose with his headgear.
Yeah, Anthony Herbie was one of the more highly rated linebackers coming into the college game this year. And watching the tapes of them, he's just been getting more and more reps.
Yeah, he is a tremendous athlete who has really good instincts. 6'3", 235 pounds. You know, that play started where it was the zone read, and it was a miscommunication. And right here, as he goes down, bang, the ball is out before he touches the surface. Without a doubt, that's a fumble.
In that first game, Andre Branch had 4 sacks against Virginia Tech. He, of course, is a member of the ACC first team all conference this year, and Andre's a senior out of Richmond, Virginia.
Probably gets pretty
They're sorting it out here on the field. This goes up obviously to the replay, but this is an all-star crew, folks. These fellows were working this game tonight, graded out very high. The replay official, Ted Jackson, of course, he received the highest grade of all the replay officials in the ACC. They were saying he was down by contact. We thought the ball had come through.
Speaking of all-star crews, that was an all-star picture. That last one really showed that the ball came out and that this was a fumble. And I'll tell you what, for Clemson, a team that's lost 3 of their last 4, they need something early to spark them. They need something early to get their confidence reestablished. And if they get this turnover, maybe this is what this team needs.
And if the whistle blew on the play, remember, if there is continuous action and the replay official sees that the player is going for the ball, you can turn it over to Clemson. So the whistle, if it's in it, would be inadvertent in that situation. It doesn't matter if the replay official said that the action continued. So here comes the referee, Jerry Magallanes.
After further review, the ruling on the field, the runner fumbled the ball prior to being down. It was replaced at the 24-yard line. It will be 1st and 10, Clemson.
Tigers have it as the call on the field is reversed, and here, Herbie, is what you said, an early opportunity.
Now we find out if Tajh Boyd's able to take advantage of this first turnover that the Clemson defense has created in over 3 games. Not only have they been turning it over offensively, they've not been able to create turnovers, and here in the ACC Championship, the very first play, they're able to create a turnover and give Tajh Boyd great field position.
DeAndre Hopkins is one of the receivers out to the right. And Sammy Watkins is up toward the top of your screen. This is Ellington. Couldn't find any daylight and is dropped at the 25-yard line.
We talked about their first 8 games. And you're thinking about 40 points a game, new offensive coordinator in Chad Morris, the turnover margin, everything was going their way. And then the last 4 games, it's almost like they become shell-shocked.
Tajh Boyd threw behind Watkins, but he was under enormous pressure that time. Kyle Fuller, who has been moved up to that hybrid position, he got in on the quarterback.
And I think Kyle Fuller is arguably one of the top players in the ACC. He has had to move around this year because of a variety of injuries to Bud Foster's defense. I would say he's the most valuable player on this Hokies defense. They blitz him, they play him in coverage, he does everything.
3rd down and 10 from the 25. Tajh Boyd stands tall, wide open. Touchdown! Dwayne Allen, one of the best tight ends in the country, muscled his way in.
Broken coverage. We just talked about Kyle Fuller and how versatile he can be. Man-to-man coverage, and it looked like Fuller may have gotten lost there in coverage, left the big tight end all alone, and it's an easy touchdown, an easy throw for Tajh Boyd, so they take advantage of the opportunity.
Chandler Catanzaro adds the extra point, and a turnover leads to 7 points for the Tigers. Only 170 miles an hour. So Benton will kick it off. And it'll be fielded at the 50 by Gregory, and Gregory to the 35-yard line.
Virginia Tech played man-to-man coverage on the outside. They're playing man-free, which means the safety's right in the middle. Now, the tight end, Dwayne Allen, is going to go out and up. And here is the man who actually should follow him. He should be man-to-man. Everybody else is man-to-man coverage. And Kyle Fuller actually loses his man, Dwayne Allen. I don't think he ever got the call because he didn't even look at him. And that's the wrong guy in the red zone you want to leave alone. Dwayne Allen is the go-to guy for Tajh Boyd down in the red zone.
Looking for a clean play. The Hokies with one snap turned it over. And they misfire on the pass to Wilson. And we take a look at tonight's impact players, brought to you by Dr. Pepper for Virginia Tech.
And Logan Thomas, he's going to have to try to show he can come through some adversity tonight after the way this game has started. David Wilson, one of the more electrifying runners, has amazing acceleration. And then on the outside, Jared Boykin and Danny Cole. These guys are #1 and #2, respectively, in career receptions. And they're going to have to make some plays against press coverage from the Tigers defense.
Second and 10 for the Hokies. It's the fullback Joy Phillips as an H-back. Good protection that time. First completion to the 40-yard line, and what a hit. That was Hall, number 31, who unloaded on Danny Cole.
And Hall had a huge game last week against South Carolina, has outstanding ball skills, and right now they're just reading their keys. They're in position as a defense, and it's amazing how one turnover can change a month of frustration for Clemson. Right now they have their swagger, and they're playing with a lot of confidence, and this defense is flying around.
3rd and 3 from their 40. Thomas fires for the first down into Clemson territory. And that's Boykin, number 81, who grew up right here in Charlotte.
Nice to see Logan Thomas sit in here. A little stunt up front. It's picked up. No concern at all with the protection. 3rd and short. And this is where Logan Thomas, again, I think this is the area that he's grown the most. He understands the down and the distance and what he needs for that first down. Makes an accurate throw for the first.
Folks, he is 6'6", and he releases up over the top. Second largest quarterback, tallest, I should correct myself, second tallest quarterback in college football in the FBS this year. And he can throw a strike to the 46-yard line, and it is caught. The line judge said that ball was caught by Boykin.
Little bonus question tonight. You know who #1 is, right? We've seen him this week, right?
From Kalispell, Montana.
Oh, really? Okay.
Brock Osweiler.
Brock Osweiler, that's right.
Arizona State.
Outstanding. Good call here. Thomas Boyd, he just looks like a different guy. And I think it's going to be interesting tonight. Everything from the Clemson game on has gone so well for them. Looks like they're going to take another look at it. But everything has gone so well for him and for this team. Coming into tonight, he's accounted for 23 touchdowns and just two turnovers. Well, tonight he's already got a turnover. It's going to be interesting to see how he faces that adversity and brings this team back because he's got it in him.
So they're going to take another look at this. We will here as Boykin, like number 81, gets down with the hands. That's clearly a ball that skipped on the turf, and this will be turned over. So the replay official has been busy here early.
2 easy ones, though. We usually where you and I head.
Right.
We like to challenge the replay now.
Will be 2nd and 10. Please reset the game clock. 9 minutes.
Right now, Clemson, Brent, playing
45
a lot
seconds.
of man-to-man coverage, even press coverage, where they're challenging the wide receivers. At some point, Logan Thomas is going to have to be able to throw the ball vertically downfield. They're going to have to make some pass plays downfield to get this Clemson defense to back up a bit, and then they can get David Wilson and his Virginia Tech running game going.
2nd and 10. Marcus Davis comes to the left side for Thomas. And now Thomas wants to go back over the play on his wristband. And I don't think Davis was too deeply involved in this play, folks. 2nd down and 10. They might want a single hit. And now trying to get straight is David Wilson. They'll throw it in, and he is hammered for a loss, and that is Brewer. And the first thing we notice about this Tiger team is they are pounding away defensively. defensively.
They are pinning their ears back, and they're coming after Logan Thomas. I just talked about the press coverage, and I'll tell you, Kevin Steele, the defensive coordinator from Clemson, he's an aggressive coach, and he knew coming into this game that he needed to be able to challenge Logan Thomas. And the biggest thing that happened that could help Clemson again is getting that turnover and really cranking up that aggression on this side of the football.
3rd and 12. From the 49-yard line. Thomas steps up in trouble, has to go to the safety valve, and that is the running back Wilson. Nothing doing. Brought down quickly by Jenkins, and the Hokies are forced to punt here early.
And they get him to 3rd and 12, and they play zone, and they're basically just taking everything away downfield, and Kevin Steele could not be more proud of the start for this Clemson defense.
And here's a story dropping back to punt again is Danny Cole, the wide receiver. He punted very well for them last week. Now, not only will he occasionally return a punt, but now he is the punter and one of their starting receivers. He averaged over 47 yards a punt against Virginia last week. There's a penalty flag. Penalty flag fired to the snap. Was it a delay of game?
False start, number 88 offense. 5 yards, 4th down.
I think the snapper also trying to talk to the official. I think there's some confusion down there for Virginia Tech.
Well, the snapper, Colin Carroll, number 50 for Virginia Tech, is a story also for Frank Beamer. That young man right there, out of a suburb of Minneapolis, is the first scholarship long snapper that Frank Beamer has ever had. And he hits it at 99.5. Only in the rain against Miami has he ever had a bad snap. Right into Cole's hands. Perfect. And he hangs it high in the air. Hopkins fair catch at the 10-yard line. And well done by the long snapper Carroll and the punter Cole. LSU and Alabama certainly looks that way. And the winner here would be headed for the Discover Orange Bowl in Miami. But all those decisions will be revealed tomorrow. They bring Watkins around the end, and he picks up a good gain here on 1st down. Now, the new offensive coordinator, the big change that Dabo Swinney made is he brought in Chad Morris, who had spent 1 year at Tulsa. Now, Coach Morris was a legend in Texas high school, and he brings that up-tempo offense, and what he wants, 80 snaps a game. Folks, that's a bunch. 2nd down and 4. Flares out to the side to Ellington, and nothing doing for a loss on that time. And another fine defensive play by Kyle Fuller.
You'd love to see 80 to 90 snaps. You know, their first 8 games when they were humming, they're averaging close to 90 plays a game. And these last few weeks, they've not been able to get into rhythm and get into sync. And I think it all starts with Tajh Boyd and his decision-making and his accuracy. I think he's been forcing some things in recent weeks, but he's gotten off to a good start here for Clemson tonight.
Well, here is a big 3rd down for Boyd. And he's got the 1st down. DeAndre Hopkins. Young man from South Carolina picks it up.
Brent, Virginia Tech brought everybody, and Eddie Whitley, the safety, almost got home, coming right up the middle. But Tajh Boyd, he's got to be able to account for him. He doesn't have enough blockers there. This is a hot route where he's got to get the football out of his hands before Whitley can get to him. Makes a nice, accurate throw, and the best thing is he kept his focus downfield instead of looking at the pass rush.
Now they come back with Ellington trying to get the left edge, and he cannot get back to the line of scrimmage. So far, they have not been able to get the edge rush in.
And that's been a big emphasis by Bud Foster and the Hokies defensive staff is they've got to be able to hold that edge, force the ball back to the inside. And I think they have a lot of confidence because of the speed of this defense that they can chase down ball carriers if they can win that battle on the edge.
On 2nd and 11, Tajh Boyd in trouble. Now coming back as Watkins did a beautiful job. Sammy Watkins saw that the quarterback was scrambling. He came off his route and worked his way back.
And a nice job here of improvising by Tajh Boyd. He buys just enough time, gets the ball thrown in front of James Gale, and Watkins, like any great receiver, works his way back to his quarterback. And it looked like he may have stepped out about a half a yard short, but it looks like they're going to bring out the sticks for a measurement. To see the young freshman working back to the quarterback to try to bail him out. Tajh Boyd so far, Brent, 5 of 6 and off to a much better start tonight than the way he has played in recent weeks.
That will bolster his confidence, right?
Absolutely. That was what they were hoping for. Chad Moore's telling and Dabo Swinney telling us that's what they really wanted to see. Get him off to a good start.
So we've got an injured player, and I believe that's Hosley, who is down. And Hosley, of course, the outstanding defensive back for the Hokies.
They've had
Chris
a lot
Hill
of injuries to
checks
deal
in
with
now.
Yeah.
So here comes your 3rd and short coming in. Bonner is also off the bench. If you just joined us, the Tigers are without suspended running back Mike Bellamy. So Ellington is going to get a full load here tonight, and here he comes. Barges straight ahead for the first down. Luther Matty in there on the stop.
It's been an area that's really been a problem for them. 3rd and short in this style of offense. Sometimes a little bit more of a finesse offense. They don't have the ability to explode off the line of scrimmage up front. This time they're able to pick it up.
First down and 10. Watkins moves into a slot look, and they run the ball to the right. And that time, Ellington with daylight. And Heather, there was a long meeting on behalf of Dabo Swinney and the Tigers this week.
Indeed, there was. Talk about long, 2.5 hours on Monday for what Swinney called a reality meeting. He told his team, we don't have an ability problem. We have an accountability, responsibility, and dependability problem. Then he went on to remind his team that the Packers were a wild card team last year. Look what they did. Now it's our playoffs. Time to make history.
And so far they have played well, as Ellington, if he gets the spot here, will have another first down. It's very close.
Brent, I think there's so much youth on this football team, and they enjoyed such a big start that I think it may have affected them psychologically late in the year once they'd already clinched their division and they were going to play in the ACC Championship. I think they lost the edge that they were playing with early in the year, but they've regained it so far tonight.
The pistol look, and again it is 3rd and short. Boyd checks over to the sideline. Ellington and the Hokies jumped him. The Hokies jumped him.
We just talked about how this has been a trouble spot for them on 3rd and short, and it doesn't look like they got it.
Whitley and Tyler were there for the Hokie defense. Now he's got a 4th and short, up by 7.
Of course, the fans want to see him go for it.
And again here, the Hokies will be very mindful of a fake in this situation. You got to be careful faking a punt down here. Danny Cole, who punted earlier, is back to return it. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is a first for me. Fair catch by Cole, who has already punted in the game, and now he was a return. I've got to tell you, I have never seen that. Trying to get Wilson going. A little bit of daylight in the middle before he's pushed back.
You know, Logan Thomas has become a different quarterback from the Clemson game, and I really think you got to go to the Miami game, kind of the drive where he played exceptionally well in the entire football game. He was 23 and 25 for the game. But if you look at this drive, 8 plays, 77 yards, and here the winning touchdown to put Virginia Tech up 38-35. I think that's where his confidence, he gained the most confidence from that performance.
3 wide receivers. And they are all to the left side for the big quarterback. So Clemson shows blitz on the side. They run at it. And not much doing there for David Wilson. And Hall comes up and makes another stop.
Well, this front right now, really the front 7, they are attacking. Kevin Steele has them in attack mode. I think they are determined to make Logan Thomas, Danny Cole on one side, Jared Boykin on the other, and Marcus Davis, the receivers from Virginia Tech, show that they can get away from press coverage. And if they're not going to be able to execute some sort of vertical passing game, they're going to continue to face an attacking Clemson defense.
Now it is 4 wide with the tight end out. They bunch to the left. Thomas back to the middle, and he's got Marcus Davis, and Davis is down at the 47-yard line. First down with Meeks hanging on. Big third down pass.
Yes, sir, Brandon. This is great protection on 3rd and long. Logan Thomas throws it just in time before a Clemson defender can get over. He splits the seam there, and Xavier Brewer just missed getting a hand on that football to knock it away.
Wilson and Oglesby, both running backs. Josh Oglesby joins David Wilson in that backfield alongside Thomas. They've got 3 wide. Oglesby behind Wilson that time and still going. His first carry of the game, and it's a beauty. Let's check in with Reese Davis for an update. Here, of course, Clemson leads Virginia Tech. Virginia Tech, though, into Clemson territory for the first time. And there goes the deep ball. Caught. Touchdown, DJ Coles. 45 yards through the air.
We just talked about they've got to be able to get the ball thrown downfield against his press coverage. Play action, got the defensive backs with their eyes in the backfield, and a great job by Coles getting behind the coverage, and a good throw by Logan Thomas.
Janelle tacks on the extra point. Both of them can get here. Deadlock. Watkins is driven deep into the end zone. He'll take a knee and come out to the 20.
Man to free again by Clemson. Man-to-man out here. Free safety in the middle who's just kind of roaming back there. Play action in the backfield. Notice the play action. That's going to get the linebacker and the safety up. Coles goes inside, actually turns the safety around, Xavier Brewer, and then it's a great throw downfield. When teams play press coverage, the quarterback in the passing game, you've got to be able to make them pay for it. Not only is that a touchdown for the Hokies, Brent, but it can affect play calling down the road and make it easier now for David Wilson to be able to run the football.
If you weren't with us earlier, Thomas fumbled the first snap of the game, and it led to the Clemson touchdown. And Tajh keeps it, slips it outside to Martavis Bryant, his first catch of the game. And Bryant is out to the 22-yard line, a gain of a couple. Well, let's make it 3. Closer to the 23, actually.
It's a common play you see in college football. And the next level of an option play where he fakes it, and then he has the option to either run it or throw it out to the receiver. It's not a pitch option, but it's either a pass or run option for the quarterback.
And here's Tajh, and he is upended by Exum. Antoine Exum, a hard-hitting safety, comes up, and we have come to the end of the first quarter.
Because they're down so many starters, Brent.
So young Bonner is on the field as Tajh Boyd looks right at him and throws in underneath Detrick Bonner, who has replaced Hosley. So they immediately go to Brown for the completion, aiming right at the youngster for 17 yards.
Now they just simply read the corner and made an evaluation on what to do with the football. Nice, accurate throw. Great decision by Tajh Boyd.
Chris Hill is the corner on the other side, and Fuller has moved up to that hybrid spot. Tajh Boyd with plenty of time, can't find a receiver. Throws it away.
Virginia Tech, outstanding coverage there, and I think the thing that the Hokies want to challenge Tajh Boyd on tonight is trying to take away his primary receiver. He has a tendency, if his go-to receiver's not there, his eyes come down onto the pass rush, and he starts to want to create. Even sometimes when he's not feeling pressure, he starts to bail out. That time they took away the primary and got the pressure where they needed it.
DJ Howard checks in as the other running back with Ellington. Tajh Boyd in trouble. Hit on the release that time by J.R. Collins, the rush-in from Stafford, Virginia.
J.R. Collins on one side and James Gay on the other, going to test this Clemson offensive line that's given up 11 sacks in the last 2 games. Good job of bringing actually some pressure by Kyle Fuller. He occupied the offensive tackle, and it freed it up for J.R. Collins to get the pressure.
Ellington, the lone running back. 3 wide to the left for Tajh Boyd on this big 3rd down. Boyd gonna go deep. Watkins, foot race. No penalty flags. Covered by Kyle Fuller. And he was with him.
It was. Fuller, again, the such versatility. He's able to run stride for stride with one of the fastest receivers in the country. And again, Boyd gets hit this time by DeAndre Hopkins. But look at this. Fuller's been pressuring. He's been blitzing. Now he's back in coverage. The fans here think that he's bumping on Sammy Watkins. Pretty tight coverage there by Fuller.
Dawson Zimmerman. And Cole is back. Fair catch. Here now at the championship game, Virginia Tech deadlocked, and Oglesby gets the first handoff, and he is to about the 15-yard line where it will be spotted on 1st down. You know, Herbie, when we were out at Stanford for a game a couple weeks ago, Chester, he looked to be trim. He was playing basketball with those 2 beautiful daughters. You just don't know.
You really don't. And you know, obviously a great Clemson Tiger. And a man who was trying to give back, you know, had a great career and decided to be a part of that staff with David Shaw and doing great work. So you're right. Our thoughts and prayers go out to his family.
2nd down and 8 for Logan Thomas. You're going to take off on a quarterback draw. 6 foot 6 inches, and if they give him the spot, he could have the 1st down.
Well, this is the area that really gave this Clemson defense fits last week against South Carolina. And if the fans from Clemson are watching, they know that Connor Shaw had a field day running the football last week. 113 yards rushing, most of those when plays broke down and he was scrambling. And that time, Logan Thomas taking advantage of, again, some room there and picks up the 1st down.
Meanwhile, Thomas against Virginia, Herbie, ran 18 times for 70 yards and ran in for 2 touchdowns. 1st down and 10. And he has to throw the screen pass away. He's under enormous heat. Meeks in on top of him.
Kevin Steele continues to mix up the coverages, playing a lot of man-to-man. Meeks 5 just goes right by DeChristopher, the right tackle. Thomas really didn't have a chance to be able to set up this screen off to the right. Good time to call that by Kevin Steele. It's a little bit of a risk, but they got there before the play could have been set up. And if they got it off, it would have been a big play.
Chris Drager, the tight end, number 33, has checked back into the lineup. It'll be 2nd down and 10 for the Hokies. And Oglesby continues to be the running back. This is going to put him in 3rd and long. Hawkins, the middle linebacker, with the stop.
Continues to be very, very tough to be able to run the football. When you think about Frank Beamer football, Brent, over the years, you think of a dominating defense, outstanding special teams, and an offense that prides itself on running the football. With Logan Thomas and really Tyrod Taylor the last couple years, that's changed quite a bit. Tonight, they're not being able to get a push at all against this Clemson front.
The left tackle, Andrew Lanier, checking back into the game. Becton, his backup, had been on the field. So here's 3rd and long for Thomas and the Hokies. Clemson shows pressure. Incomplete. And terrific coverage that time by Breland.
Man-to-man coverage on 3rd down. Breland takes away the inside, or at least he gets beat initially, but is able to recover. His positioning there, he looked like he was trying to take away Jared Boykin on the quick slant. Boykin got there initially, but the quickness and the acceleration by Breland allowed him to catch up to knock that ball away.
So wide receiver, punt returner Danny Cole back into punt again. Standing on his own 11. Hits it about the 15-yard line. Hopkins will let it bounce. And it'll roll dead at the 28-yard line. And the kids have had such a good time with Tigers and Hookie Birds and all the rest. 1st down and 10 now. Ellington straight ahead to about the 28-yard line.
Last time Clemson was on the field, it's an example of what Chad Morris wants the quarterback to be able to do. A linebacker blitz, he's got a receiver, a running back out of the backfield all alone. Nobody picked him up. He's got to be able to read that hot read. Instead, he locks into his primary receiver, Sammy Watkins, and just heaves it downfield. It's an incompletion, and they're taken off the field.
Tajh Boyd keeps it, throws on the move, and it is complete for a 1st down to the 45-yard line. And Sharon Peake, the freshman from Moore, South Carolina.
Here's a great throw this time by Boyd. He throws it actually back behind the receiver, allows him to use his body to be able to deflect and keep the defender away from him. So this time Tajh Boyd on the run to the left, comes back, throws back against his body, and makes an accurate throw.
And they come back with Watkins trying to get that edge with his great speed. And let us check in with Reese Davis for SportsCenter right now. So as a result, Reese, we would expect that TCU, if they move up, will get a bid to a BCS Bowl. And again, tomorrow night at 8:15, that'll all be made public. And then at 9 o'clock at the top of the hour, they'll unveil all of the bowl matchups. But it is very possible, if things break right, that TCU will play Michigan in the Sugar Bowl. But we'll have to wait and see how that unfolds. 2nd down here in short, Herbert. Ellington for the 1st down. Whitley makes the shot.
Clemson still trying to fight to get to the outside. It's such a big part of this offense. Play before, they got Sammy Watkins on that jet sweep coming from the right to the left back into the boundary. He got the corner, picked up big yards, and this time again they worked that left side of the Clemson offense.
Quick pitch to Watkins, trying to use his speed against Chris Hill. And he goes for a burst to the 31-yard line before he's forced out of bounds, and that's a 1st down.
You know, Chris Hill felt challenged the last time these two teams met. He really felt, I remember hearing him after the game say, you know, I took it personal. They wanted to come after me. They wanted to challenge me, and I stepped up, and I thought I played very well. Again, they're trying to come after him again, with especially Hosley down and Bonner and Hill holding up the corner spots.
Now they look back to the Bonner side on the juggle. Watkins again forced out of bounds. And he's at the 26-yard line, and that's where Clemson will have 2nd down.
But this time, Tajh Boyd is able to check it down. Instead of locking in and trying to throw it and force it downfield, he makes a good decision, and now here's 2nd and 5.
Wide open on the other side's Hopkins. Hopkins goes to the 6-yard line. And Fuller finally brings him down. But it is 1st and goal as we take a look back at how they're doing in the red zone.
And look at the soft coverage from these corners. Remember, Hosley is out. Hill is on one side, Bonner on the other, and they're really challenging the Virginia Tech corners.
A 20-yard gain. And Ellington battles his way to the 3. Zone is brought to you by Verizon, and you can see how they have fared as Morris makes his substitution package as they approach the goal line, sends his jumbo unit on the field.
He's got to be very proud of this drive. We'll see if they can punch it in and get a touchdown. 8 plays, 70 yards, a little over 2 minutes, and they're definitely in a little bit more of a hurry-up mode.
From under center, Tajh Boyd scrambling and gives ground. It'll be 3rd and goal. J.R. Collins there defensively.
Great coverage by Virginia Tech. They took away the 2 receivers that were going off into the corner of the end zone. And Tajh Boyd just trying to create to make something happen, but the Hokies stay at home, and the speed again very evident from Virginia Tech.
3rd down. Tajh Boyd keeps it, tripped up, and a decision to be made by Swinney and Clemson. Tyler tripped the quarterback up, number 58. And Swinney does not hesitate. Sends the field goal unit onto the team.
Quick read here by Tajh Boyd. He's checking out the defensive end. He wants to be able to make it sure that the end commits down to Ellington. He does. That's the right read. But Virginia Tech is sitting right where they need to be to keep Boyd out of the end zone.
A 20-yard attempt here for Catanzaro to put the Tigers back in the lead. On the money. And Benton. Gregory will field this one at the 10-yard line for the Hokies. A little bit of a crease. And he is out to the 39-yard line.
All right, here do you have?
Come on, Herbie, take a shot. Take a shot. Who was it? We wouldn't have asked you this if it was not a well-known name.
Well,
if it was a name you're not thinking about,
okay,
and you'll be thinking about more in a week from now. It is somebody who I know you're thinking about.
Heisman.
That boy.
There we go, baby. Here we go.
John Heisman. Clemson won that game, folks, 17-5.
Johnny Heisman.
Was that game brought by Dr. Pepper?
I'm sure.
David Wilson is back in as running back, and he is cut off immediately. What a read they seem to have when he's going to get the ball here tonight.
Well, again, I think they're really just dialed in to stopping the Virginia Tech running game. Watch the orange jerseys. Watch how they are running to the football. They're beating Virginia Tech up front at the line of scrimmage. Blake Christopher that time getting thrown around. But these guys are playing hard, and Andre Branch quietly having a big-time game. This entire defense playing great. Courtney Brown also involved up front on that play.
Logan Thomas is 6 of 10. He has thrown one long touchdown pass. And that to Coles for 45 yards. Now up over the top, and Wilson couldn't hang on. And that was because of the hit by Lewis. Carlton Lewis, safety from St. Augustine, Florida, unloads.
And how many times have we seen this where they call helmet to helmet? This time you see the safety, Lewis, comes in a little bit high. I mean, anymore you can't watch a college or a pro game without that hit being called almost every single time.
Agreed. We saw it called on the West Coast every week.
Almost every game you watch.
Now here's your 3rd and 10 now. Four receivers out, and pressure on a 4-man rush that time, and Andre Branch, the big defensive end, in on top of Thomas.
First meeting, 6 tackles for a loss, 4 sacks. Coming off the left side, he just uses his speed to go right around Lanier. Wasn't anything fancy outside of just using his left arm to keep Lanier away, and then great quickness to go around him.
Clemson leading by a field goal. Cole on to punt once again for the Hokies, and Hopkins back deep. A booming punt by Cole. Hopkins hopes this one goes in the end zone, but he kills it at the 2-yard line.
Oh, my God.
Danny Cole is wasting his time as a wide receiver. 6:47 remaining. Officially a 60-yard punt. So Tajh Boyd from his own end zone on the move, hit on the release, and I think that receiver was out of bounds. Yes, indeed. And Whitley was applying some heat.
Clemson taking a little bit of a chance here with play action, slow developing play, and Boyd trying to get outside. He gets outside of Tyrell Wilson. But Brent, as you said, Eddie Whitley was closing in as he tried to eventually get the ball thrown out there to Watkins, but Watkins clearly out of bounds.
Tigers up by 3.
Got to be careful down here.
Ellington about 6 yards deep in the end zone, gets a handoff, and there's a hole on the left side, and he squirts out. Ellington in a foot race out of bounds at the 34-yard line for a 1st and 10. So you talk about an escape. 33 yards for Andre Ellington.
Well, you can see Andre Ellington is healthy now. This cut right here and the ability to break away from an arm tackle and then the acceleration. That's something that Clemson fans love to see, is number 23 in the open field.
Tajh Boyd directing this offense with a 3-point lead. Here's young Watkins, and he'll be thrown down at about the 37. Whitley again, and Eddie Whitley, the senior from right here in Charlotte, doing a good job defensively on this series as the plays are signaled. Many of those signs are dummy signs, and you never know when you're working against a Chad Morris coached offense which ones are live. DJ Howard in as the running back. Tajh Boyd on the move. And he has to throw it away as the Hokies were on top of him. And Marshall, a freshman tackle. You know, Derek Hopkins, a starter. His brother Antoine out with an injury, but all the second stringers are in there now for the Hokies, Herbie.
Look at Virginia Tech sniff this screen out from the very, very beginning. Wilson, the defensive end, the entire second team defensive line is in, and Wilson was able to pick that up right away and just locked up the wide receiver, Tajh Boyd. Again, nowhere to go with the football.
So Ellington back on the field for the offense. Tajh Boyd's in trouble. That was pressure off the edge by Zach McCray. Redshirt freshman forced him up into the pocket, and the tackle was made by Hamlin.
Well, watch the left tackle. There's some confusion up front again. Philip Price comes down and doesn't block anybody. I mean, Zach McCray, he's an athletic guy, but he's pretty easy if you don't block him. So we saw this as a concern last week against South Carolina where they gave up 6 sacks. Philip Price steps down and McCray comes up with another sack.
So our punter is back to return a punt again. Danny Cole awaits Zimmerman's punt. Heat on him, and I might have gotten a piece of that one. There is a penalty flag because apparently they got a piece of the punter too, and that was Hopper. Now there is the young man that they threw the penalty flag on.
Personal foul, roughing the passer from the 26th defense. 15-yard penalty from the line of scrimmage. Automatic first down.
Hopper's saying that he touched the football, and Frank Beamer's saying, hey, if he touches the ball, all bets are off. You don't have to worry about roughing a punter.
Let's take a look now.
See if 26 gets a hand on that ball.
I think he might have. Yeah, I thought it had a strange flight pattern. But it is hard to tell.
Hopper came up right away, kind of giving you that indication that, hey, I tipped the ball. I tipped the ball.
And Frank Beamer is still on the field with the line judge. And now the line judge is going to stop it. He's going to go out to the referee.
The ruling on the field was roughing the kicker. The previous play is under further review. Replay buzzed the downfield officials. The previous play is under review.
So this has been instigated upstairs by the replay official who wants to see if perhaps the youngster didn't touch it. Now I tell you, it had a strange flight. When you watched it live from up here, that doesn't prove everything because you know the punter had to hurry. Hopper said he got a hand on the ball. And of course, this is a possession decision here.
The first look, Brent, that we had looked like you could see, as you said, a change in the flight of the football off of the punt. Hopper gets in there, Coles gets in there. Boy, it does. It does look like it changes. Now, is it enough to be able to overturn it is a question.
You can see the flight pattern of that ball. And it struck me unusual. Frank Beamer, of course, as all of you know, he has made a career out of blocking kicks through the years. It was interesting in a discussion with him about it. He said the one thing that has improved dramatically across the board in all of college football, special teams play. Not as easy to block kicks as it once was. That, of course, was a secret weapon of Virginia Tech. But he said very seldom now do you get a free shot at a punter.
He's given too many clinics.
Exactly. He's taught everybody.
I'm telling you, everybody comes into Blacksburg in the offseason to study special teams.
Well, here comes the decision.
After further review, the ruling on the field stands as called.
Interesting.
First down.
It was difficult to overturn. Now, I want to back the instant replay official in this, because even though I thought that the hand might have been on the ball, I'm not sure I could have overturned it with what we saw.
Yeah, and Frank Beamer's last argument was you could see the ball changing and the way it was coming from the way it came off the foot and then the way it was flying through the air. But Clemson, hey, they'll take the break.
Clemson leads it. 5 minutes to go here in the first half. And a quick pitch to Watkins, and coming up hard for that stop on the corner is Bonner, the youngster who replaced Hosley. So Dietrich Bonner with a fine tackle.
And Dietrich Bonner and Chris Hill are going to have to continue to make plays, because Hosley with that stinger, there aren't any indications at this point that he might be coming back out in the field.
Now Exum goes up and watches Allen, the tight end. Tajh Boyd comes back the other way to Ellington, and Ellington is stopped in open field by Fuller.
This guy, the more tape I looked at this week, the more I just fell in love with Kyle Fuller. He had an older brother, Vinny Fuller, who's a great player at Blacksburg. And that is just perfect technique. That's not where you just lower your shoulder and try to knock the guy down with a collision. Look at him wrapping up. Perfect form tackle for all the youngsters out there on how to make a tackle in the open field.
Basically 5 defensive backs. Tajh Boyd back under pressure, deflected, incomplete. And they are forced to punt. That's an incomplete pass, and Edwards was in on top of the play and tipped the pass.
And on third down, Virginia Tech and Bud Foster is coming after this offensive line. It's not just about coming after Tajh Boyd, it's about coming after the offensive line. And that time you saw Edwards, the linebacker, with the pressure. He goes up and knocks the football down.
Now Fuller goes back deep with Danny Cole. Danny Cole is the return man. Should there be a short punt, Fuller is standing on the Hokies 31. Cole inside the 20. 3:59 remaining in the first half. Cole's going to let this one bounce. And it hits a Clemson player at about the 17-yard line. I want to remind everybody, this week on Monday Night Football, the Chargers will try and stay in the AFC West race. They take on Jacksonville. Jaguars, of course, have got a new coach. Jack Del Rio is out. Coverage begins at 7 Eastern. Monday Night Countdown served by Applebee's. Phillip Rivers. And if you're like me, you're wondering what has happened to Phillip Rivers. More interceptions than touchdowns this year.
It's been bizarre, and everybody's looking at Phillip Rivers and Norv Turner and wondering what has happened to San Diego. And that was a team that a lot of people anticipated having a great run this year in the AFC, but it's Tim Tebow time out west right now.
No question. And now it was Logan Thomas forced to take off and upended at the 21 as we go to Reese Davis for an update.
Here we
I would believe it.
Here we go.
Second down. And complete, and that is Cole, the punter. And he is thrown out of bounds at the 25-yard line. So this is going to bring up about a 3rd and 2 coming up for the Hokies.
These Virginia Tech fans are fired up after the no call on the punt, and now they're seeing Cole go out of bounds. They think that Clemson defender, their Brewer, may have thrown him after he was already out of bounds.
I think 29 took his arms off.
Yeah.
It's okay.
We got to be able to still hit people in this game.
3rd down and 2 now for the Hokies. David Wilson
Clemson
has been stopped pretty much here tonight. He's carried 3 times for 4 yards, the ACC MVP. So for our guys from Blacksburg to get back in this game, they trail it by 3. They're going to need a dose of that running back. I mean, this has been a terrific defensive performance by Kevin Steele's defense there for the Tigers so far.
They are attacking the line of scrimmage. They're pinning their ears back. I don't think at this point they are respecting Logan Thomas in the passing game. Now, Logan Thomas made him pay for it. He got a ball thrown downfield to DJ Coles, but I think they're going to have more of that because right now it's not just the numbers that are up there for Clemson, it's the mentality. Kevin Steele, as you said, these guys are, as soon as the ball is snapped, they're attacking. It makes it tough for any cutback lanes that potentially could be there, and it's been tough for the Hokies to run the ball.
Now, of course, the winner moves on to the Discover Orange Bowl down in Miami, and off of what happened in the SEC Championship, we are fully expecting, Herbie, tomorrow that it will be LSU and Alabama in the BCS National Championship game on January 9th.
Slam dunk, and with Houston losing, boy, it makes it interesting for tomorrow night as far as the at-large spots, because Michigan, you know, they obviously need to be able to get up there close enough to be able to have a chance. But TCU, you talked about it earlier, they get up into the top 16 and they're higher ranked than West Virginia, a Big East team that won their conference, which you would think they will be. They get an automatic spot in the Sugar Bowl, which should be exciting. Gary Patterson, yeah.
West Virginia is expecting to get a bid to the Discover Orange Bowl. Here is 3rd down and 2. And the big quarterback with the read option keeps it for the 1st down. Now the All-State BCS standings look like this, and there are the top 2 teams who figure to be right there. Oklahoma State leading Oklahoma, and if they win it automatically, they would go to the Tostitos Fiesta Bowl, and it's probable that Stanford would be their opponent.
Yeah, and you look at Boise State at 11-1 with Kellen Moore. They're going to be very highly ranked in the final BCS standings, and you wonder if they may be the team that's left out as a potential BCS at large.
1st down and 10 coming up. Logan Thomas throws back across the field, double coverage, incomplete. Boykin was the receiver, and there is a penalty flag on the far side of the field over by the 19-yard line.
Offside, number 40 defense. 5 yards, replay 1st down.
So Branch jumped offside on the play.
He's in a sprinter's stance. He got off to a little bit of a quick start there. Andre Branch, really the whole defensive line. And talking to the Clemson coaches and even the Virginia Tech offensive coaches, they talked about Dabo Swinney's group, the strength being clearly the front 4. And for Clemson to be able to disrupt Virginia Tech, that front 4 is going to have a big night. They've played very well up to this point.
1st down and 5, and Thomas runs the option play, and here's the pitch, and cut down is Wilson. Meeks had the pitch man, and he did a great job. They are just not letting Wilson get any daylight here. 4 carries for 7 yards.
They are taking him away. Another great open field tackle by a defensive back. Goodman took away the quarterback and made the quarterback Thomas pitch the ball. And as you said, boy, Meeks was closing in on a hurry onto David Wilson, and he didn't have a chance.
There's been some excellent tackling by both these teams here tonight.
No doubt.
Yeah, some of the best open field tackling I've seen this season, actually. 2nd down now and 2. There's a misdirection with Wilson. Let's see what happens. And this time he gets a little daylight for a 1st down to the 45. And let's go to Reese Davis for an update. Reese. All right, Reese, and of course Oklahoma has dominated that series over much of the last decade. The last Oklahoma State coach to win a Bedlam game was Les Miles before he went to LSU. First down and 10 now. Thomas can't get an open man, going to be sacked. Takes a sack. Had to throw that away
timeout
at the 37 with the clock ticking down. Rennie Moore credited with the sack, but you can't take a sack in that situation.
Now the one thing you cannot do, and this is where Logan Thomas is still growing, great coverage downfield, outstanding, but at some point you've either got to find your check down and throw it to David Wilson, or you just got to get outside and throw it away. But you can't take the sack. Not only do you lose the yardage, the clock keeps moving. You're forced to use a timeout. They're fortunate that they had 3 timeouts and now they're down to 2.
He is such a good story, Logan Thomas, out of Lynchburg, Virginia, raised by a single mom who had to work 2 jobs. So basically his grandparents, his mother's father and mother, raised him, and they said that at the age of 3 he would come, "Grandpa, let's go outside and play ball." "Oh, Logan, I'm a little bit tired, and look, my shoes are off, I'm watching TV." And sure enough, Logan would have the shoes in his hand and say, "Let's go, Grandpa." And Grandpa would go outside.
How about that?
And they played basketball. And when he was 3, 4 years old, and by the time he was 11 and 12, he was a terrific young basketball player. And then he discovered football. So he's just a wonderful story. Second down, didn't think he wanted to play quarterback, but here he is. And in trouble again, and this time he does throw it away.
And they got a late hit this time on Andre Branch.
So that's a big personal foul penalty and a first down.
But Branch is so excited to be able to get pressure. Remember, he grew up in Virginia.
Personal
4
foul
sacks last time that they played.
This 40 defense, 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Taking him out of the game. He had 4 sacks last time they played. He came close to getting after Logan Thomas. See, again, Thomas is hanging on a little bit too long. Good call there. Branch just takes it too far. But Logan Thomas, part of his experience as a basketball player, I think stunted maybe his growth as a quarterback. So he's still kind of learning as we watch him as just a sophomore at 6'6", 255 pounds.
So with the penalty, the ball is moved to the Tigers' 48-yard line.
Big mental error there.
Now 1 minute, 2 timeouts. Trailing by 3, and on the slant, DJ Coles to the 30-yard line. And they are moving closer to field goal territory here. Journell on the season 13 of 16. He's hit a 41-yarder this season against Marshall.
Soft coverage there. Good job of recognizing that. Easy throw for Thomas.
50 seconds, got timeouts to stop the clock. Thomas can come and use the middle of the field, and he does just that. Drager, the tight end, and forget the field goal. They got enough time to take a crack at the end zone here.
And the clock stops, obviously, with a first down. Now he's in a little bit more of a groove here these last 2 plays.
Here comes pressure. And they forced the bad throw to Drager. Hall, a safety blitz was coming hard.
I love the call by Kevin Steele. They just gave up back-to-back plays where Thomas had time to throw. They're hurrying up, and they bring the pressure with Hall right up the middle. That's been a problem for Andrew Miller as a first-year starting center. Teams have pressured them to the interior of the offensive line. There's been some confusion at times. That time Hall got in there, but a good call, an aggressive call by Kevin Steele.
35 seconds. They can still use the middle of the field because they've got the 2 timeouts. Second down and 10. And tripped up is Wilson. He comes across the 15. Jenkins was there, and so they will burn the timeout right now.
Those last 2 throws gave you a feel for how good Logan Thomas can be and where eventually he will grow and become more consistent.
Thomas on a quarterback draw is going to be down at the 7-yard line. And there's a penalty flag thrown back at the 18. So hang on for this penalty.
It's like a holding call. He's indicating that. Better put that football away. It almost came out of there.
So now they've got to be concerned about setting up Cody Journell here for the tying field goal. He's got 20 seconds.
Holding number 68 offense. 10-yard penalty. Replay, third down.
And that's Brooks, the right guard, who is guilty, and he's on the All-ACC second team.
Hey, Brent, I know he loves to play hoops, but look at the ball. Boy, look how it's away from his body. You got to put that football away. And Clemson's trying to, almost came out there at the end.
So it is third down. The ball is back at the 25. So this would put it 42 yards. They need to pick up a few yards here and use that timeout. The big clock is running. They've got to hurry.
Boy, Frank Beamer is irate.
Because when the big clock takes off, and he wants an explanation for the referee.
30-second timeout.
So this is their last timeout with 6 seconds. And so when they spotted the ball.
Well, again, you got to know, he's trying to call a timeout late, but an offensive penalty, the game clock will roll. And so you've got to be aware of that from the sidelines. You got to be aware of that, obviously, as a quarterback. It's not just the play clock, it's the game clock that's moving. They wasted about 8 to 10 seconds there.
Now this would be a long for Cody Journell, around 42 yards. And he trots onto the field. Trey Gresh, redshirt freshman from Blacksburg. He will be the holder, number 16. And we told you about the snapper. So Carroll. This is on the right hash. And a 42-yarder. This would be his career long if he makes it. Beautiful. Didn't he curl that one in for a career long? Bailed him out. Coach and quarterback, I might add.
Everybody. That was pretty good timing for a big-time field goal here. Great snap. The hold is perfect. And he got, I mean, that's the way you want to hit it if you're a field goal kicker. 1 second left, 10-10. It's going to be an interesting second half.
And Journell's out of Ripplemead, Virginia, redshirt sophomore, and now he's 14 of 17 on the season. Kicking game so critical.
Oh, so important, and I'm sure it'll come into play in the second half. Incidentally, Virginia Tech does get the ball to start the second half, so that was big for them to get 3 points and then be able to come back after the break and get the football back in the hands of Logan Thomas.
So Justin Meyer will put the ball on the tee, and they'll run the timeout here. It has been 30 years since Clemson last visited the Orange Bowl. Back in those days, it wasn't the Discover Orange Bowl as it is now. So there'd be a lot of orange down there in Miami if Clemson could make it. Line drive. And that's Brown picking it up in the end zone on the last play of the first half. So we'll go to the intermission. Deadlocked at 10 here in the Dr. Pepper ACC Championship. And right after this kickoff, a little piece of news to update you on something here, Herbie, as the kickoff is going to be fielded on the 7-yard line as Gregory comes out to the 34. The electricity has been off in Clemson, South Carolina since the start of this football game and is apt to remain off for the entire game. There's a fire in a substation down there. So what I would expect to have happen is that somewhere there will be a replay, maybe on ESPNU after power is restored tomorrow or somewhere down the week, so those great fans down there can watch this football team. Right now they are tied at 10. They are on defense, and Logan Thomas and the Hokies with the first possession. Thomas deflected, incomplete. And do you know how hard it is to deflect a pass thrown by a 6'6" quarterback? Yeah, there they were. Goodman getting in on it.
Goodman's about 6'4" himself. They bring pressure again. Jonathan Meeks, they've got 5 defensive backs in there. They brought 5, and they're pushing back that Virginia Tech offensive line. So Clemson, Kevin Steele, the Tigers are hoping that that trend continues where they win the battle at the line of scrimmage.
2nd down and 10 from the 34-yard line for the Hokies. And they are trying to get David Wilson going here in the second half. Wilson, 6 carries for 21, and now he has 7 for 24 yards on the night. So that Tiger defense, they have done a great job on the Hokie running back.
You know, he has 34 carries this year of 15 yards or longer. That's most in the country. And tonight, 7 carries for 25 yards, and it's all about the way they are attacking upfield and penetrating against the Virginia Tech line.
3rd down and 6. And Logan has to throw this away. Anthony, the very talented freshman linebacker, was all over the Hokie quarterback.
Again, 3 plays, 3 blitzes by Kevin Steele. He is fired up, and he should be. Now we've got Virginia Tech with a dispute, possibly with an official. We get a late flag.
We have indeed, Herbie. You saw it come down at the 28-yard line, thrown back there by the Hokie players.
Intentional grounding, number 3. That's a loss of down at the spot of the foul. 4th down.
So he was not outside the tackle box when he flipped it to the sideline.
The blitz is going to come right through the middle. Nice job there by Anthony with the acceleration. The slight delay caused some confusion up front for the Virginia Tech offensive line.
Cole will punt, and the Tigers figure to have good field position here. But Cole drives one over Hopkins' head.
This guy is amazing.
This is a youngster who didn't punt much until last week. And let's check in down below now with Heather Cox. Heather?
You guys were talking about the turnover story. Clemson was -10 in turnovers the last 4 games. Dabo Swinney said the fumble recovery that led to the touchdown really set the tone for the first half, and he's proud of his defense. Offense, on the other hand, he said we still haven't gotten in sync. Tajh Boyd is missing targets that he normally hits. He's got to be more efficient in the second half. He also praised his team but said they need to be smarter in the second half. Too many penalties in the first half.
So Herbie, Cole has followed up an earlier 60-yarder with a 61-yard punt. You talk about affecting field position, and Ellington dances to daylight. A terrific run to the 26 by the junior Clemson tailback.
Nice pull here by the guard, McLean. He picks up a nice block there on the closing in, J.R. Collins. And I'll tell you again, Ellington healthy is a different back. Great vision. He's got that jump cut where he's able to get around the defender and get more yardage.
Ellington 76 yards on the night. And now a strike to Hopkins for another first down. And the Tigers are mounting a drive out of bounds at the 43-yard line.
Look at again the soft coverage. Corners, you've got Bonner in there for Jaron Hosley, and he's giving about a 12-yard cushion there. Nice recognition there to see that and to be able to make a quick throw out there for an easy first down. That's pitch and catch.
And so the Wildcat with Ellington and nothing doing.
That's a couple times we've seen this, and they haven't been able to get that play going. Got a lineman down, but see Watkins trying to grab some of the Hokies' attention, but that time the corner, Dietrich Bonner, who's been picked on a bit out on the perimeter, was able to come in and make a nice play, and it looks like Philip Price is down.
Now, Price was a question mark coming into this game, and he's the big left tackle. He was all ACC honorable mention this year. And Brandon Thomas has been his backup from time to time.
This offensive line has been much maligned in recent weeks, and his injury against Wake Forest has really, I think, affected the continuity of the offensive line. So Price going down, we'll have to reshuffle the deck yet again up front for Clemson.
Well, get ready for bowl season with the ESPN Bowlbound app featuring video news analysis, the latest BCS standings. They'll all become official tomorrow, weekly projections. ESPN's Bowlbound app, free on iPhone and Android. And again, a reminder that 8:15 tomorrow night on ESPN, they'll reveal the BCS bowls. And then at 9 o'clock, they'll run down the entire lineup. Herbie, what do we have? 35 bowls coming up now in the month of December?
I think so, yeah. There's nothing better than bowl week, right?
That's great.
Love to see the conferences battle one another. Boy, he is very slow to be taken off the field. We've talked about it. That knee has been bothering him the last 3 weeks. He's just trying to be a gamer, just trying to play. They tried him early last week against South Carolina and had to replace him. He held up for a half tonight, and it looks like it's going to be tough for him to come back.
So again, the Hokies are going without Hosley. Their fine defensive back from Delray Beach, Florida. He was injured in the first half. Bonner and Hill have been playing on the corners, and the hybrid has been Fuller. Fuller now goes out on the slot receiver. Tajh Boyd comes back short side, got a first down, put it in the hands of the electric one. This time it is Hopkins.
And they continue to go after Dietrich Bonner, who is a freshman. Now he's going to be a big-time player, don't get me wrong, but he's playing in the ACC Championship game, and Tajh Boyd is trying to take advantage of that by going after him. Hopkins has great quickness to be able to show him a vertical stretch threat and then come back underneath.
Now Watkins in motion, coming around on that jet sweep. Fumble! The Hokies go for it, but a Clemson player was also right there, and it is Dwayne Allen, the tight end, to the rescue. So here's a young man who is up for the Mackey Award, is one of the best in the country, doing those little things.
And how about Bonner, who's been picked on this time? He makes a pretty good play, gets physical, and boy, it looked like Exum had a chance to recover that, but the big tight end is able to get it back for Clemson.
Right between the wickets. Now they were looking for the pass by Hopkins, and he does throw on the move, incomplete. He was definitely going to get that ball off. Jerome Brown was the intended target that time. And it will be 2nd down and 10 for Dabo Swinney's team.
Yeah, he actually wanted to throw this ball to the tight end. Here's Tajh Boyd getting involved, picks up the defensive end, J.R. Collins. You know, that time Hopkins was actually looking to the tight end, Dwayne Allen, but he fell down on going out for his route.
Tajh Boyd keeps it. Left side, bang straight ahead. And he is down at the 20-yard line with Bonner making the stop.
Boy, it's good to see Tajh Boyd run the football with authority. We've not seen this in recent weeks. He is leaving it out there. He holds on to the ball, and it's Bonner again making a play against the run.
That is helmet to helmet, folks. We have seen that called. I am surprised the flag didn't fly on that one. Ball at the 20-yard line, 3rd down and 3. Watkins slips into that backfield now, loads up. He's the second man, and they're going to option to him, and here comes Watkins, daylight, 20, 15, pushed out of bounds. So Mike O'Kane calling plays here, dials this up.
He gets the ball to the outside. Watch how quickly Tajh Boyd delivers this. Nobody takes him, but he just wants to get the ball to the speed. Typically, quarterbacks are taught to take it to the defensive end or a defender to make you eventually pitch it. This time, nobody took him, but he just delivered the ball to get the ball out on the perimeter with outstanding speed by Sammy Watkins.
And a 1st and 10 at the 15. Tajh Boyd again. Cuts at the 10. And he is at the 9-yard line before Edwards, the linebacker, brings him down.
Option again here, not just to pitch it, but this time to throw it or to run it. This is a different Tajh Boyd. This is the Tajh Boyd that we saw early in the year playing aggressively. Boy, Brent, the last 3 or 4 weeks, it's almost like he's been back there thinking too much, worrying about making mistakes. Tonight, he seems to be just turning it loose and playing football.
They can get a 1st down without scoring the touchdown at the 5-yard line. This is 2nd and 3. This time Boyd is back to throw for it, wide open. Touchdown to Allen. The big tight end again. And there is a penalty flag. Hang on. Back at the 20-yard line. But the referee is signaling this is going to be a touchdown. He's telling Dabo Swinney.
Personal foul. Roughing the passer, number 17 is the defense. There's a touchdown on the play. 15-yard penalty will be assessed on the kickoff.
You know who they went after again for the touchdown? Dietrich Bonner in coverage, a freshman at 6 feet, trying to match up with Dwayne Allen, one of the top receiving tight ends in the entire country. 6'4". Not only that, Bonner fell down, making it very easy for Tajh Boyd.
Clemson 17, Virginia Tech 10, and because of that personal foul, the Tigers will kick it off for the 45. Spencer Benton figures to nail this one into the end zone. And so they don't even give David Wilson a chance on this play.
Go back to the touchdown and the matchup. This is a huge drive for Tajh Boyd, but look at this. Dwayne Allen matched up against Dietrich Bonner, who had a rough drive there. That time he falls down in coverage, and remember, Boyd went after him a lot. Comes to the sideline, and the freshman gets a little lecture here and a little advice from Jaron Hosley, who at this point has been out of the game since early in the ballgame with a stinger.
Now, junior tailback David Wilson tied the school in ACC records with 10 100-yard rushing games in 2011. He has been held to 25 yards here tonight by this Tiger defense. Play action to him. And they couldn't throw it to him, but the big quarterback breaks free. Breaks a tackle. And he is down at the 21-yard line. Branch hauls Logan Thomas down.
Well, it looked towards the end of that play like we might have a horse collar, but let's look. Logan Thomas, here's his strength, Brent. Almost a Ben Roethlisberger type of scramble, the way he is able to elude the pressure. And that is a horse collar. Exactly.
How could he miss that?
Yeah, right there in front of the official. Branch, who tries to catch up with him. It's a no call. Another break for Clemson. But up front, it's a mismatch for Clemson.
On second down, still trying to get Wilson going. And the Tigers are there to meet him. It is now quite clear, Herbie, that Kevin Steele has said, we are going to take David Wilson away from them. Well, you can always take one thing away from a defense.
I think Kevin Steele came in from the first series and said, we're going to take David Wilson away. They have been attacking with their ears pinned back from the opening series. And I said at the beginning of the telecast, I'll say it again, when teams do that, you've got to make them pay for that aggressive attitude, whether it's misdirection or the vertical passing game. Something has to happen to slow down this pass rush.
Now Wilson bending over, so Oglesby is on the field now for this 3rd and 8. Got one-on-one, lobs it up in the air, and it is caught by Boykin. A beautiful catch, a penalty flag. The defender was draped all over Jared Boykin of Charlotte. What a grab this was.
Pass interference, number 81 of the offense.
Oh, my.
Replay 3rd down.
Well, Brent, not just the effort to make the catch, and this would be interesting to see where they see the push off. How about the job to get the foot down? But let's see where he pushes off. It was kind of going back and forth here both ways. Breland and Boykin were pushing, especially at the end. I think what they caught Boykin for is at the last second when he adjusted and made his position to go up into the air, he put his right hand right on the chest of Breland to basically to be able to separate himself from the defensive back.
Against Virginia Tech and 2 against Clemson for 20 yards. So the flags have gone against the Hokies here tonight. No question about that. And it is 3rd and 18. Play clock down at 3. Option look. And the quarterback breaks another tackle, but he couldn't even get back to the original line of scrimmage. And the Hokies are forced to punt.
Biggest concern that Virginia Tech had coming into this game is how they would match up physically against Goodman, Thompson, Moore, and Branch. And we can see why that's been a concern.
Cole is standing inside the Clemson 5-yard line. Hopkins standing at the Clemson 40. On the one hop, a dangerous bid for a few more yards. While you were gone, Frank Beamer said that they got away with a horse collar on my quarterback. And now Tajh Boyd going downfield. He's got the fellow open. The freshman Watkins takes it in. Speed kills. And Sammy Watkins from Fort Myers, Florida for 53 yards.
They waited and waited and waited, and they eventually went back to old reliable. A little double move, a pump and go. They continue to pick on these corners. This time, Chris Hill out there by himself, isolated against a true freshman. Perfect patience, and Tajh Boyd again looks like the Tajh Boyd of earlier in the year. He is feeling it, especially here in the second half.
Well, it's been 30 years since Clemson played in the Discover Orange Bowl, and they are closing in on that bid. So the first two drives of this half have been 3 and out, and this is Gregory returning the kickoff for the Hokies, and he is out to about the 27 with a penalty flag flying at the 29-yard line.
Another Virginia Tech mistake.
There are 2 fouls on the play. Illegal block in the back, number 45, is declined. Illegal block in the back, number 13, is accepted. 10 yards from the spot of the foul. First down.
So another flag against the Hokies.
Go back to that touchdown. First play of the drive, the double move to Watkins. We've seen a lot of that this year, but mainly early in the year. A little hesitation, and Chris Hill, the corner, bites up on it, and a perfectly thrown ball by Tajh Boyd, who is really feeling it tonight. 18 of 25, 219 yards, and Sammy Watkins, 5 catches for 80 yards.
So again, the defensive front, they are just having a field day. Brandon Thompson of Thomasville, Georgia, slanted on the center, and he just ate him up.
Well, they are just pushing Virginia Tech back into the defensive line. Derek Hopkins is a strong man, and that time Virginia Tech, I mean, how would you like to be David Wilson? David Wilson, I mean, we could talk all we want about how he has not been able to run the ball tonight. But this Clemson defense is the reason up front on that defensive line.
4-man rushes in, and they deflect the ball again. Coming in hard was Brown, a backup defensive end from Charlotte, North Carolina. So in front of his family, he gets it done, deflects another pass.
Look at the pressure up front from the front 4. And you said it, you got a quarterback at 6'6". But this defensive line's getting in there so quickly that Logan Thomas, I mean, they're even trying to get the ball out of his hands quicker. It still doesn't make much of a difference.
It's been nothing but 3 and out this half for the Hokies. Logan Thomas looking for a solution against this fierce 4-man rush. Gets this off middle. Great pitch down the middle. And the catch by DJ Cole. No, wave it off. I thought for a moment he made the grab.
He got the ball actually in there, Brent. It's a heck of a throw, but he was unable to hold on to it. He finds the seam. This is a tough ball. It actually comes out of the receiver's hands because of the way the defender this time is able to just knock it away. Martin Jenkins with nice play.
4th down and 13, so it's another 3 and out here. And Hopkins standing just the other side of midfield. A short punt, which means a short field for the Tigers. And the Tigers are turning the screw right now. And tomorrow night, the BCS Selection Show will be on ESPN Sunday at 8:15 Eastern. You'll find out who's going to the BCS Bowls. Michigan State with a lead on the Badgers. Will they be taking on Oregon in the Rose Bowl? 8:15, and then where all the bowl teams are going, coming up at 9. Only a 28-yard punt for Danny Cole that time. And the Hokies are really under fire here in the third quarter. Tajh Boyd takes a deep drop, got a man open on the side, complete, and Allen coming over on the top, Herbie. They were able to finally pick him up, and that was a linebacker, Edwards, who had to go with him.
Edwards had to get back there in coverage, try to stay with the big tight end. You can see this third quarter completely dominated by Clemson. They've been able to make the big plays. Chad Morris, the offensive coordinator, deserves a lot of credit for the adjustments that they have made here in this second half, because it's allowed, I think, Tajh Boyd to play with much more confidence.
Ellington to the middle. And a first down at the 29-yard line of the Hokies. And the Hokies are really back on their heels.
Well, you attacked so much from the outside, and then this quick hitter. Look at the linebackers and the safeties. They're looking out to the outside, because most of the plays that Clemson's having success with are to the perimeter. That time, before they could adjust back to the middle, Ellington was downfield.
Ellington trying to get the left edge. End zone ahead, barges for it. Touchdown. A 29-yard run by Andre Ellington.
We came in expecting David Wilson to show us acceleration. How about a healthy Andre Ellington? Amazing block downfield by the receivers, giving him enough space. He got to the corner. They are mixing up the play calling. And again, this is the Clemson offense that we saw early in the year. They keep you so off balance and on your heels.
Ellington is now rushed for better than 100 yards. Take command here in the third quarter.
Now, the play before, Ellington ripped it up the middle. Now he's going to follow a couple of the big boys around the corner, and he's able to get downfield. But what you love to see is not just Cloy pulling around and McClain, it's the receivers willing to get down there and get involved and being able to free the way and make some big blocks. But that speed and that quickness is amazing. This is his first 100-yard game since his injury.
Now Philip Price, Heather tells us, out for the day. So they moved Mason Cloy, a backup guard, out there to tackle, and he helped throw a great block on that play. So 3 touchdown drives here in the third quarter. We were deadlocked at 10 at the intermission.
You come into this game with Clemson and you kind of get locked into Tajh Boyd and Sammy Watkins, but what made this offense so difficult to defend early in the year was you had Watkins and Boyd and Dwayne Allen and Jerron Brown and DeAndre Hopkins and Andre Ellington in the backfield. There's so many different pieces to the puzzle, and we're starting to see that here in the second half.
From the 10-yard line is Gregory. And Gregory out to the 32, and a penalty flag comes in.
There's no foul for illegal block in the back. First down, Virginia Tech.
So it has been all uphill for the Hokies offense. As we told you, it has been nothing but 3 and out.
Yeah, and really, you even go back to the first half, and Clemson was still attacking in the first half, with the exception of the one long throw that they found to DJ Coles. Look at this second half, punt, punt, punt. Not only that, 3 and outs. They can't get anything going. And Clemson, the longer this game goes on, the more they just continue to pin their ears back and come after Logan Thomas.
Oglesby checks in as a running back. He's to the 37. We'll check in with Reese Davis for an update. And so, Reese, if that holds up, The Cowboys will head on down to the Tostitos Fiesta Bowl, and it would mark the first time that Coach Gundy will have beaten Oklahoma as a head coach at Oklahoma State. 2nd down and 5 for the Hokies, who are looking for a first down here in the 3rd quarter. On the ground, a one-hopper to Oglesby, and this won't net the first down. Sensabaugh is up, and what a defensive effort.
Boy, they have just done everything. Kevin Steele, the defense coordinator, not only turning them loose, but they're well prepared. Every formation that they see, they know what's coming. They're taking away the tendencies. They're in perfect position, but more importantly, they're very, very aggressive in the way they're attacking the line of scrimmage, taking any hope at all away from Logan Thomas and this offensive line.
So here's your 3rd and 4 for Logan Thomas and the Hokies. And he's got a first down. Into Clemson territory, DJ Coles.
One of the few times that we've seen Logan Thomas on 3rd down have a chance to catch his breath and make a read, and even then, this time he got rid of the football. He got it out of his hands. How many times have we seen the coverage so good that he's sitting back there holding the ball and holding the ball? This time, does a good job of finding the receiver and getting the ball out of his hands quicker.
So again, it's a 4-man rush. Wilson, and terrific coverage in that secondary. That was Sensabaugh. And last week against South Carolina, he was the best Tiger corner.
Well, that time he was late with the football, and you can see on the year and what they've done tonight, just a dominating performance up to this point. And when you hold Virginia Tech to 40 yards rushing, you're going to have a really good night defending them.
2nd down and 10 for the Hokies.
Press coverage again.
Thomas tripped up, giving ground at the 46-yard line. This will be 3rd and long coming up.
It's a combination of not just the defensive line playing well, but they're basically telling Logan Thomas, we're going to lock you down in man-to-man coverage on the outside, and before your receivers can break free, our front 4 are going to get to Logan Thomas and make you pay for holding on to that football. So they're making Thomas look into that man-to-man coverage. Nobody's getting separation, and then by the time he thinks he can find somebody, the pressure's in his face.
And here comes the blitz. Now they back out. Branch has flopped over to the right side. Now they're still coming. Got one-on-one, and there's a penalty flag. That's interference all the way on Sensabaugh. Sensabaugh against Boykin, and another penalty flag comes.
And this time, the first is going to be defensive interference, and then Boykin, out of frustration, spiked the ball, which will be a dead ball penalty against Boykin. Some of the frustrations starting to mount here for this Hokie team. He's interfered with. He also made the catch, but then he got up and spiked the ball.
There are 2 fouls on the play. Pass interference, number 32 defense. That penalty is declined. After the play, dead ball, unsportsmanlike, number 81 of the offense. That's a 15-yard penalty from the end of the play. It will be 1st and 10, Virginia Tech.
Now he's interfered with. The reason it's declined, obviously, he makes the catch, but you cannot lose your cool. You're down 31-10. Very physical on the route the entire way, pushing and shoving. He makes a heck of a catch again on the boundary, but then once he makes the catch and looking over the officials, slams the ball down.
How can they miss the number that badly? That was on number 15 and not number 32. 1st down and 10. The Hokies now will have the ball at the 38-yard line. Thomas. There's the flare to Oglesby, who is out of bounds at the 36-yard line.
With Oglesby in the game, you don't have quite the quickness that you get from David Wilson, but the senior has a lot more power. But at this point, down 31-10, they need quickness on the field against this Clemson defense.
2nd down and 9 for the Hokies, who have given up 21 unanswered here in the 3rd quarter. Still 3 minutes left in the 3rd quarter. Here comes the blitz off the corner. Thomas puts it to the outside, and to the 31-yard line is Coles again, and this will bring up another 3rd down here for the Hokies. Down on the night so far. They are 5 of 11, as is Clemson.
I think Clemson has a great deal of confidence in the speed of their defense and in the secondary matching up against the Virginia Tech wide receivers, which is allowing them to take more gambles and take those risks by playing that man-to-man coverage.
With the score and the field position, this might be 4-down territory if they don't pick it up here. Thomas is going to be stopped short, and again, that is not a clean handoff on the read option.
Well, he's reading Andre Branch, and when nobody on a zone read, you don't know if you're going to keep it or if you're going to give it. He's trying to make a decision, but by Branch playing it the way he did, it forced the quarterback to be indecisive and then eventually just pull the ball out and try to pick it up himself, and he came up short.
So they are going to go on 4th down. Joey Phillips checks in. Oglesby is the running back. They need 2. Dropped. Had a 1st down, and it was dropped by Drager, the tight end, and it goes over to the Tigers.
They had what they wanted. The tight end matched up man-to-man against the linebacker. It's a catch that Drager can make in his sleep, and Kevin Steele pretty fired up over there on the other sideline for the Clemson defense.
The Discover Orange Bowl awaits the winner of this game. And right now, the Tigers are moving ever so close to Miami. Ellington, again, a 100-yard night, and he picks up about 10 more before Thompson brings him down.
Again, to see his vision and his suddenness. Great cutback that time and reading the blocks and getting back behind the left tackle's block.
Let me correct myself. That was Hopkins who made the stop for the Hokies. And again, banging straight ahead. So 30 years. The Clemson Tigers hope to make it back to the Orange Bowl.
Amazing. 1991. For such a great fan base, been some tough years.
Hopkins into Virginia Tech territory at the 47-yard line.
Tajh Boyd continues to look into that defense, sees the soft coverage, takes it every single time.
So when they won that last title in '91, they did not go to the Orange Bowl. It has been 30 years since they have been to Miami. 1st down and 10 with the ball on the Hokies 47. And Tajh Boyd to the 40-yard line. Tyler with the stop. This has been a very punishing Clemson performance here tonight on both sides of the ball. And they are 1 quarter away from a bid to the Discover Orange Bowl in a probable game against West Virginia. That'll have to be sorted out according to the BCS rankings tomorrow. Herbie, you said it during that break. This is a perfect place for the ACC.
Absolutely.
And now dancing is Watkins again with that great speed. And he's into the red zone.
Big part of this offense is the jet sweep. You see it a lot at Auburn. You saw it last year at Auburn with Ontario McCaleb. Watkins has the same kind of speed to be able to get to the corner in a hurry. They've been working all night to get to the edge. They've had a lot more success in the second half, which opens up again a lot of different aspects in this Tigers attack.
So now Tajh Boyd dances away, throws on the move to Hopkins. Hopkins at the 5, and he is down right there. You talk about Sammy Watkins, who set this up. He missed the North Carolina State game with an injured shoulder and came back, the coaches said, at about 93%. And when he was a youngster in Fort Myers, he admired C.J. Spiller. He was also very concerned about the mean streets where he grew up. Family did a great job with him, and he is so happy to be in Clemson. And now we've got a 1st and goal, and they'll try to run it in, and nothing doing. It'll be 2nd down and goal, and Exum. And so, speaking of Charlotte and how easy it is for these two fan bases to get here, a new ACC championship record tonight, 73,675. This game could stay here for a long, long time. Like the SEC in Atlanta, this could be like that for the ACC. Now Tajh, option look, keeps it, barges toward the end zone, and they say he is just short of it. Line judge came down.
Just love,
said he is just short of it.
Love the way, Brent, he is attacking when he's running the football. I mean, I cannot tell you how long it's been in watching Clemson play this last month. We just have not seen this kind of aggressiveness from Tajh Boyd. I think the coaches were right. They wanted to see him get off to a fast start to reestablish his confidence and get the momentum going in their favor, and I think it's affected him tonight. 20 of 28 through the air, but what I like to see is the way he's running the football. Now, his upper body looks like it might have broken the plane, but it's obviously all about the football. But just a different guy, and good for Tajh Boyd after everything he has done for this offense. Good to see him have a chance to go out strong in his final game for this year.
He was recruited by Frank Beamer at Virginia Tech, but he decided to attend Clemson instead, and you can see the force that he met right there. He is a good friend of Logan Thomas's. Tajh is from Hampton, Virginia, and Logan, the quarterback for Virginia Tech, is from Lynchburg, and they've known each other for a long time. So the ruling is going to stand on the field. And it's going to be 3rd down and goal. And Herbie, you are exactly right that this game depended to a large degree upon the performance of Tajh Boyd for Clemson, and he has come up big.
He sure has. He's back in command, making great decisions, and really just asserting himself tonight.
Ellington is behind Deal, and Tajh tries to pick it up himself, and there's the touchdown signal. So 4 second-half possessions for Dabo Swinney and 4 Clemson touchdowns.
With the way Clemson has looked in the last month, this was almost like an explosion in this second half. I mean, it was at 10-10 at halftime. Still both teams kind of feeling each other out. There's Chad Morris, who's fired up for him. But this second half, it's like Clemson's been waiting for this for the last few weeks, and they're just taking it out right now on Virginia Tech.
Catanzaro on for the extra point. And it is hard to believe, but at the intermission, we were tied at 10. So that is 4 unanswered touchdowns for Jimmy V. The Tigers will kick it away, and Gregory is back deep. Gregory, and there's a penalty flag flying again. The last 3 kickoff returns have all featured flags around the 35-yard line.
During the return, holding number 41. That's a 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. 1st down.
Heather, you know, we see finally that David Wilson's coming on the field. What do you know down there on the sideline?
Well, the last couple of possessions, he has been noticeably absent. He's not getting the same amount of reps he's accustomed to. Josh Oglesby was in during that last series. Now, guys, he was pacing the sideline with purpose and frustration, didn't stop moving throughout the last series. In fact, stood by the coaches asking to go in, and they said no. He did have his ankle taped earlier in this game, but I've been assured from everyone on the staff that injury or lack thereof is not the reason he hasn't been getting the reps, guys.
Well, they throw the other way. Heather, thank you very much. Hitting DJ Coles. David Wilson, who's the most valuable player, has 5 carries of 2 yards or less.
And this is a guy, again, led the nation coming into tonight. 34 carries this year, 15 yards or more, but there's been nowhere to go. I mean, this is a guy with great quickness. He has strength, but you can see the job that they have done on him. You see a lot of times 5, 6, 7 orange jerseys running to the ball carrier. They have taken him out of the game.
Basically have rushed 4, and they stop him short of the first down as we check in with Reese Davis. All right, Reese, and here the Hokies are just trying to get something going here in the second half. They pick up a first down to Coles, and that's a story for this offense in the second half.
They get a first down, Brent, and it's like a feeding frenzy by Clemson's defense. I mean, poor DJ Coles, he makes a catch. He's just trying to give you a little bit of effort by staying up, and you've got about, again, 6 different defenders trying to chase him down to get a piece of him.
Thomas is back, middle is open, goes back to him again to the 45, so Coles picks up another first down, and he's the go-to guy.
See, this is what I've really been waiting for. The only answer when they're shutting down your running game with penetration is you got to get the ball out of the quarterback's hands quickly, and you got to find somebody at receiver who can get some separation. That time they sat back in zone coverage. It made it a little bit easier.
Logan Thomas has to take off again. Receivers covered. Picks up about a yard to the 45-yard line. Deshaun Williams, another talented freshman for Clemson, makes a stop. Herbie, you go back in the season and you take a look at what Clemson did. They torched Auburn, Florida State, went up to Blacksburg and beat Virginia Tech. No team in the country was any hotter. Then they went into that slide, lost 3 of 4, got beat up by South Carolina last week, 34-13. When you talk about a team that has bounced back.
Oh, yeah. I mean, again, they look the way they did early in the year when they were beating some of those heavyweights early in the season.
David Wilson, little daylight that time, and close to a first down. That may be his best run of the night.
It's been one of those nights. One thing about Logan Thomas that he's going to have to continue to grow in an area he'll have to continue to improve and grow is when he faces a defense like this, he's got to be able to get back, make a quick read, and get the ball out of his hands. He's still tonight a little bit methodical with his reads, and a lot of these plays are slower in developing, and by the time they develop, there's somebody in his face.
So we have another penalty call. We've had 9 flags against Virginia Tech and 2 against Clemson. So not only have they played hard and tough, but the Tigers have played smart here tonight.
Substitution, there was 12 men on the defense. That's a 5-yard penalty from the line of scrimmage, first out.
You know, and I think Dabo Swinney deserves a lot of credit for that. I mean, this has been a heck of a slide. You know, the first 8 weeks, they were right up in the discussion about the BCS. Should they be up there? Should Alabama be? Who should be up there? And then they lost, and it seemed to not only affect them that week, but it deflated them, and they lost 3 of 4. A lot of people wondered, with a championship on the line, would they be able to crank it up one more time for the ACC crown? And obviously, he's done a good job of preparing them.
On first down, fires middle, intercepted. Picked off at the 10-yard line. And that is Meeks, who has done a fabulous job in that secondary. And now he's still running up 49-yard line of the Hokies before the quarterback, Logan Thomas. And you talk about an enthusiastic sideline over there with Kevin Steele and the rest of that defensive unit. That's a 41-yard return.
Just look for the white visor.
Foul on the play.
And you'll see.
Interception, first down, Clemson.
How pumped. Here come the oranges. How pumped is Kevin Steele, the defensive coordinator? He's jumping around. He's inside that pile. Brent, you said it. Jonathan Meeks is a backup safety, plays in a nickel situation. He has had a big night. This time, using his eyes, he jumps the route, cuts behind Danny Cole, but we've seen him in coverage. We've seen him blitzing and getting into the face of Logan Thomas. This time, he shows an ability to play center field. Great coverage and great recognition, stepping in front of that for the interception.
Now they pound close to the 50. So a loss of yardage, and it'll be second down on the other side of the 50-yard line. Ellington is the running back. You talk about the performance of Meeks. Reminds us that a fellow by the name of Tyrann Mathieu was spectacular again for LSU. And when you talk about the Heisman, Herbie, I know you had him way up there. Then he was suspended for using synthetic marijuana. And he sort of dropped off the map, and the voters walked away from him. And this will be incomplete.
I think you're right. He got in some trouble off the field. But I would argue this. In a year where nobody has had a Heisman moment, the one man who has had several Heisman moments is Tyrann Mathieu.
Now here's Tajh Boyd, and he is down at the 49-yard line. Let's bring up a 49. What's very interesting, trouble. Charles Woodson had a moment like that against Ohio State. A couple of them, as you can recall.
Oh, yeah.
The last non-offensive player to win it. I'm not so sure that Mathieu wouldn't have won it this year. Now I think he's a long shot.
He is a long shot, but you're right. Think about the last two games, the Arkansas game and the way he changed that football game with the big punt return, and he creates a fumble. Today, if you watch the game against Georgia, LSU didn't even have a first down. And they had 7 points on the board, but thanks to Tyrann Mathieu. He's a playmaker, he's dynamic, and he's doing it in games that are impacting a team that's undefeated and chasing a national championship.
Well, punter Dawson Zimmerman should be very well rested, because this figures to be Clemson's first punt of this half. That's how well they have played offensively here. With a 28-point lead, 4 unanswered touchdowns, and 7 minutes and 54 seconds away from a bid to the Discover Orange Bowl. Now, I think the Orange Bowl will have a huge crowd this year if it comes up West Virginia and Clemson.
I'm with you.
That's a good matchup now.
Orange Bowl has to be very happy with the results today of Cincinnati winning, which will send West Virginia and Clemson with their fan base. They're going to be very excited with the way their season ended here in Charlotte.
So Zimmerman drives this punt. Couldn't quite back it up. It goes in the end zone. It'll come out on the 20-yard line. Charlotte, North Carolina, 38-10. Clemson dominating. First down and 10. And to the 30-yard line is Marcus Davis, who's been relatively quiet here tonight. But that'll move the chains for the Hokies.
He has been quiet, and you know, in a night where they've needed Marcus Davis to be able to get separation, here he comes again.
Over to the corner, came right back with him.
Brent, he's 6'4", about 225 pounds, runs a 4.5, and has a 42-inch vertical. To me, throw it up and give the guy a chance.
There's 3 catches, Herbie, for 40 yards, and 2 of them right here in succession. Second down, and big Logan Thomas firing again, and this time to Drager, the tight end. So a few of the Hokie faithful have headed for the exit, but those folks wearing orange, they want to see that trophy in their possession, and they want to call their travel agent and head to Miami. Thomas up too high, incomplete, and that was Boykin. Young man who grew up right here in Charlotte, one of the record-setting performers of the Hokies. And you look at this Virginia Tech team, the only squad they couldn't handle this year in the ACC. You're looking at them right here. Clemson stormed into Blacksburg, beat them on October 1st, and they're looking for the sweep tonight in a neutral setting. Not get the first down.
Brent, I want to congratulate you on behalf of the whole crew for being a big recipient of the prestigious Outstanding Contribution to Amateur Football Award that's going to be given to the National Football Foundation dinner on Tuesday night at the Waldorf. Congratulations to that.
Thank you.
We'll be there to represent you and honor you. Well deserved.
It's because of partners like you over the years that this has been such an enjoyable run. I want to tell you, it's a pleasure coming to work with you and working with people like our producer, Bill Bunnell, Derek Mobley, our director down there, Zippy on the keyboard for us, and TD, and everybody else who travels with us. The cameraman. I mean, look at the pictures we've had tonight. It's been an all-star performance by this crew.
It's been a great year, and that's a great honor for you, and I know you're looking forward to it, and we're looking forward to coming in. And
will you have a cocktail with me, sir?
Yes, sir.
4th down and 7 now, and Logan Thomas throws for the side, and the first down to Marcus Davis. And Herbert, you said it, throw the ball to Davis.
Yeah, I was surprised when Clemson started to just again come after Logan Thomas and play so much man-to-man coverage. Danny Cole and Jared Boykin are good receivers, obviously, but they don't have the quickness and the athletic ability to get the separation from this Clemson secondary, and I think Marcus Davis does. And now that the game's out of reach, they're giving him a shot.
And he has to throw this one at the feet of Wilson as Jarrett was coming after him. You know, Herbie, I love to talk about the NFL. We all know how many great players come out of the SEC and play Sunday football. And overlooked sometimes is the ACC. In the last 3 years now, the ACC has had 53 linebackers on NFL rosters. That's more folks than any conference in the country. Over the last 2 years, they've had more Pro Bowlers than any conference, with 47. So sometimes because of the great performance of the great players in the SEC, we overlook the talent base down here in the ACC. These fellas can play a little bit.
And honestly, I think we overlook the ACC because their struggles as teams.
I agree.
They've not had a lot of success. When they formed this conference, the Coastal and the Atlantic, I think they really thought Florida State and Miami and Virginia Tech would be the kind of the anchor schools. The Hokies clearly have held up their end of the bargain.
No question.
Miami and Florida State have not. So people don't think about the ACC, even though they have exceptional individual talent that obviously moves on to that next level.
I agree with everything you said. They have not had that super team here lately. And complete again to Boykin. And the Hokies are marching down the field with 5:48, and of course they trail it by 28 points. Now you think about Logan Thomas, this quarterback, Herbie, only a sophomore, and remember, he really is still learning how to play quarterback. So there's a tremendous future for this young man, despite the fact this looks like a very disappointing evening for him, and that's incomplete.
It'd be interesting to hear. Heather had a good report about David Wilson, who's their go-to guy. But in the second half, when this offense was struggling, David Wilson wasn't on the field. Josh Oglesby was out there. You wonder after the game when Frank Beamer has a chance to address the media if he was dinged or if there was another reason that he wasn't out there.
Well, he's a junior. And tonight, 11 carries for 32 yards, the ACC Player of the Year. And this is him with a football right now. And he barges inside the 10-yard line. Herbie said at the top of the broadcast, if you weren't with us, that one of the things that you don't know about Wilson is how strong he is.
He is. He's very committed, like most of the Virginia Tech Hokies, to the weight room. And he has broken some records, some running back records. Think about some of the great backs that they've had and how strong and powerful those backs have been. And you look at him at a 205-pound running back, and yet he's in the weight room working overtime.
Picked off at the goal line. This could be a pick six, folks. There's nobody there. Breland, yes. Stopped, and that was Wilson who got back on him.
Absolutely.
He had the whole sideline open, and Wilson hustled back, and that's Wilson's best play of the night.
Unfortunately, but it does show the heart that he has. Logan Thomas got back there, but David Wilson, it's the only time we've had a chance to see him actually turn on the Jets. But this Clemson defense has done everything that they've needed to do. They step in front of it this time and make the play. Breland has the speed. But boy, this defense has made a lot of plays tonight. That's the second interception for Logan Thomas on the night.
That was just a great day, and thanks to all the mascots who participated. Now, a little bit of bookkeeping here as Clemson barges in. Herbie, let's go back to the interception, because 64 yards, that's the longest interception return in ACC Championship history.
And you'll love this, Brent. We said all night David Wilson's fast. Well, here's he's showing his speed in the open field, but more importantly, how about the heart not to give up on that play? And if he doesn't do that, then that is a touchdown and a lot longer interception return for Clemson.
Well, there's the turnover margin that has plagued the Tigers in the last 4 games and tonight a +3. And by the way, we welcome the audience from Clemson, South Carolina. We are so sorry about the power failure. You missed a great performance. And there's a direct snap to the running back. Little trickeration that time. DJ Howard, as Tajh Boyd was walking over to the sideline.
There's Chad Morris reaching into his high school playbook. Oh, Coach, what?
He used this in Texas.
That was great.
This was a Texas high school play, and it moved the chains.
That was like a demo of
They won a state championship with his play.
Back to back. Good for Tajh Boyd.
Now, Cale Stout comes in as the quarterback. Cliff Stout's son, the backup for cleanup, as we go to Reese Davis for an update. So twice this year, Reese, those two teams have had great games, and Dabo Swinney is headed for a bath as the Tigers close in on a trip to the Orange Bowl, and there it is, and it's orange Gatorade. Dabo will wear that with pride. 2:55. And these youngsters from Clemson deserve a lot of credit. They had to listen to the coaches for 2.5 hours. Folks, that's a long meeting if you're a football player.
Absolutely.
You ever attend a 2.5-hour meeting?
No. Never lost 3 of 4, though. I guess that's an accountability meeting.
3rd and 12, and the backup quarterback in there. Hands off to Roderick McDowell. So the mop-up crew is out there, and there's Blake DeChristopher with that great beard of his, tackled for the Hokies, and it has been a tough night.
They got to get Kevin Steele, don't they?
Absolutely.
I mean, he deserves to get drilled.
And he says, you know what, you rascals.
Oh yeah.
He looked up on that big monitor and said, I know you're creeping up on me, but they did a great job with the defense here tonight, and all the coaches. They deserve a whole lot of credit for this performance. And it appears as though they're going to be playing West Virginia. Now, you might remember the name Stout. This is Cole Stout. And his daddy, Cliff, played in the National Football League. And Herbie, the family lives in Dublin, Ohio?
Went to Dublin Kaufman High School, and another coach got it. His brother plays at Ole Miss as a backup quarterback.
Ah, he's a backup at Ole Miss.
Yeah.
All smiles on one sideline, but not on the other. Here tonight, Clemson would head down to the Discover Orange Bowl, where they're expected to be matched against West Virginia. And down on that far side is Boykin, working for Logan Thomas. And a very disappointing night for Virginia Tech, but they figured ahead to perhaps the Chick-fil-A Bowl down in Atlanta. I know that there was speculated that should they come up a loser in this game, that's where they might head, and I believe somebody told me that they would play an SEC team down there. And I may have read in one of the newspapers here in North Carolina this week that there was speculation about South Carolina, but we shall see. That'll all become official tomorrow night. 2nd down and 10, and Oglesby will finish up as the running back here for Frank Beamer.
SEC Championship was interesting with Georgia storming out this afternoon, and I think LSU, hearing all the talk about they could lose and still advance to the national title, definitely had an impact on their emotions. As much as they tried to downplay it, they're human beings. But I thought what we really wanted to see is 4 quarters of football, and LSU obviously took control of that game in the second half.
Logan Thomas firing incomplete. And of course, if it comes up, LSU and Alabama make it 6 straight BCS championships for the SEC. 2 of them by Florida, coached by Urban Meyer, who will head to Ohio State for next season. Les Miles won one, of course, at LSU.
SEC 7-0 in BCS title game. So what happens when you have 2 teams in there? Do you go to 8-1? You're 8-1.
That's
you know what I'm saying? Oh man!
Let's make them 8-1.
That's not right.
Of course. That's it. What a great line. Incomplete. I love that.
You get 2 teams in, and all of a sudden you got an L. It's not right.
And of course, we want to remind you that Monday night, check in and see why the Chargers have backed up this year. They play the Jaguars. And that'll be Monday Night Football at 8:30 Eastern time. Coverage begins at 7 Eastern. And of course, you got to tune in and watch. Come on, man.
Oh, I love that. That is great.
That is
Come
great.
on, man.
So the victory formation. Every coach's favorite formation, and there's a penalty flag. Of course, some oranges have
5 yards, first out.
come down on the field. And you remember those days when Nebraska and Oklahoma used to close it out of the Big 8. Those oranges come flying in Norman or Lincoln.
I love that. I used to love watching that. It'd be freezing out. Somebody would end up. Look at these.
This is dear Steve Spurrier. Dabo and Steve had a little exchange of words over this week, but Dabo telling us he still respects Coach Spurrier.
And Coach Spurrier is saying that he didn't say it.
I guess it was the radio announcer.
It was.
Wasn't it?
Todd
We
Ellis,
are
I guess,
not
said it.
LSU. We are not Alabama, but we are definitely not Clemson.
Right.
That sounds like a radio broadcast.
It sure does. What a win for this Clemson team. Just amazing effort.
So here comes the handshake now. Dabo Swinney closes on a very high note. And after the Tigers had lost 3 of 4, there's the dean, Frank Beamer, who tells him good job and wishes him well down the road. And there's Watkins, the rookie of the year. And for Logan Thomas, there will be other games. And some of the fellas are now picking up the orange bowls, going into the stands with their fans.